Hey everybody, this is Yvonne from LunaWorks Odds and End, and this is
Myra.
And we're going to come to you and talk to you about women's festivals. But before we get started, just wanted to have you please share our videos, please like our videos, and hit that notification button so that you'll know that we'll be on Fridays every week. So just want to kind of do a shout out to everyone who has been commenting on our videos. Also, Tracy, thank you for all your lovely comments, and we'll be seeing you soon. Okay, so women's festivals.
Women's festivals.
Yeah. Now, everyone who is a lesbian or a woman-centered woman or a crunchy or an outdoorsy or whatever knows about the Michigan Women's Festivals back in the day. That was one of the few and the premier women's festivals of its time, and every lesbian actor or performer
did that festival.
Yeah.
A lot of names, and actually, it's kind of sad. And there were so many women artists during that time that I don't think they're, you have to really Google their names and find out, but we had a lot.
I mean, everything from Melissa Etheridge, Katie Lang. We're talking comedians that were out during that time.
Right.
Kate Clinton, that type of genre.
Yeah,
they were the bomb back then.
Ones.
Now we
much
have
more, but
yeah.
Those were also some of our favorites.
Yeah.
So. One thing about the women's festivals that really how we connected was because as artists, you're trying to find a place to show your wares. And so we did as many festivals as we could on the East Coast, and or had time because we were also doing artwork and working full time and trying to get these festivals on the weekend. So we had a lot of experience and we were able to meet a lot of women through these festivals. We really want to talk about our first women's only festival, which means there were no men allowed.
And it was in Richmond. I cannot remember the exact year. Chester, Virginia.
Somewhere
Pocahontas State Park.
Yes.
And we were really excited about this venue because we were actually going away. We did like a women's weekend festival at ODU.
We just went every day.
Yeah.
But this one we were actually camping
overnight.
And it was actually a 3-day.
It was a Friday night, Saturday, and
Sunday. And so me growing up camping, we thought, oh, this is really cool. We can do this. And so we rented a huge tent, a family-sized tent. And we rented a really ugly yellow station wagon.
Oh, it was an ugly yellow station wagon. Cannot remember what kind of model it was, but I remember that we were able to get all of our goods into that station wagon.
It wasn't an SUV.
No.
Let's get that straight. It was a station wagon.
Basic station wagon.
And so we go to this place, and it's in the woods, and so we check in, and we begin to set up our tent.
Yeah.
Which we did. We set our tent up.
And it was late afternoon. We were setting this tent up, so it was getting gradually darker. It was still like around 4, 5, o'clock. So we still had sun, and I have never been camping before, or put up a tent. So Myra, I had to leave all of that expertise. I helped, but that expertise had to.
Oddly enough, we got the tent up pretty quick.
Yeah, we did.
And once we started loading our stuff in, we get this message.
Some woman comes over.
Calm down.
Yeah, I know. Comes over and says, "Excuse me, but you can't set a tent up in here because this is a cabin zone." And I go, "What the fuck is this cabin zone?" So
there were cabins in the woods.
Yeah.
And so we were assigned a cabin.
Yeah. We had to take the tent down.
We had to take the tent down and kind of start all over. And then we said, okay, put everything back in the station wagon. And then we went to the cabin and we opened up the cabin. Now, mind you, this is a park that, you know, you have Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts do their camping, or people just camp, or just
Yeah.
regular summer camp. And this was the first event since the last spring or fall.
Yeah.
So when we opened the door, it was a cool looking cabin. It had a nice porch on it.
Yeah.
And so we walked into that cabin, and I freaked out the most.
She did.
There were two bunks, two beds, not bunks, two beds, and the mattresses were rolled up. Now, if you've been camping and you've gone to these, you know, summer camps with kids, you probably the first people are in and got to clean those up. You probably used to
This was not just needed to be clean. It needed to be fumigated.
It needed to be.
It was
de-animaled.
I mean, it looked like the winter had sheltered every animal in the forest in all of these rooms.
We had no broom.
Nothing.
We had nothing to clean this out.
We had kids' names on the wall.
Yeah, which was okay,
which
but
was
it was
fine,
the fact
that's
that
normal.
we had to move spider webs to even get to this.
It was bad.
And so, I think it was the first time that I knew how much I was a germaphobe. I think it was the first time Yvonne realized I was a germaphobe. That we cleaned the thing out the best we could,
Yeah.
but I had this, oh my God, they're crawling all over me moment. And some of them were still alive as we were in there.
Luckily, we didn't have to go directly to sleep that moment because we just gathered all our stuff, put everything in the cabin. Because there was a party going on that night. Friday night, they were going to do a welcoming dance. They had food.
The whole deal
and everything, a DJ and everything.
So we're still working with this cabin. And when we get the cabin, so anyway, we go to the event.
Now, picture this: a big communal building, about the size of a barn, but very well kitted out. You know, it's got, you know, bathroom, it's got little hallways and everything, but it's a big open area.
Festival hall in a park.
So the music is bumping, and, you know, there's women of all shapes and sizes, and this is when I realized we are all shapes and sizes. And being in a women-only space also made me think about, damn, this is freedom right here, because there are...
All of a sudden, we're looking and the women on the dance floor did not have tops on.
Yeah, not all of them. But,
but there were a few. And this freedom that was going on. And we were going like, wow, that's free.
That was, live free. It was an interesting
So
concept.
for us, that was new.
Yeah.
To go to an event, an all-woman event, and women just said, hey,
we're out there.
I'm out there.
And the music, the DJ was going, and we were out there dancing, and
we had a great time.
We had a really nice time.
Yeah.
And then we saw a couple of women kind of leave, and I overheard one of them grumble, you know, why are they playing men music? Evidently, they were playing Prince and a few other. This is the 80s.
Yeah.
So this is what is out there. This is what people are dancing to. But evidently, she thought she was in. Yeah, she was purists. That's funny. That was a good.
They're still purists.
They're still purists out. But they were.
But we weren't prepared for
offended.
purists. Were we prepared for the freedom that was going on?
That was going on. But it was cool.
It was cool.
It was fun.
It was our first experience with that. And so we went back to the cabin to attempt to sleep.
And luckily,
and we both had a bunk, had a bed.
Yeah,
and
we did not. We both slept in the same one.
No,
we had.
I will just admit all of this.
Okay, go ahead.
I freaked the fuck out. I was like, I could not hold it together with crawly things. Now, we have spiders in the house. I am an outdoors, in the woods kind of person. But it's like me in the dark with crawly things. trusting that they're gonna do their thing, and I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
That whole thing just messed me up.
I know.
So,
Luckily-
long story short, I ended in the twin bed that Yvonne was in. The two of us was in that one bed because I could not handle it.
No.
She had to shut me down. It was really,
And it was dark out there because we
had a lantern.
we had a Coleman lantern, like one of those ones with a little sock on the inside that you light with the gas. We had that, so we were prepared for
a tent.
To a tent. And then
cabins aren't always.
and
what you think.
then of course the next morning we find out that all the other women in the cabins around us said, thank God for that lamp, because we had it right outside the door, because we had the door open to a certain extent, and we had it right there on the porch, so that they could actually make it to the latrine.
Right, because there was
No
pitch
one could
black,
dark out there. Okay.
And so we really we put it outside so it wouldn't be so bright inside,
Right.
because of course bugs like light.
So the next morning we woke up.
and decided the decision was made.
Decision was made that
We
at
were
the end
not
of the day
sleeping in that
we were
cabin.
going to sleep in the car.
We were going to sleep in the car the next day.
So we loaded all of our clothing and goods into the
Back
car,
in the car.
back in the car, and just took out all the stuff for the
arch.
porch, for the art show.
And there was an
which
art
was
show on the porch.
On the porch of that big communal place.
Yeah.
So
And there were workshops
Yeah.
and all kinds of things.
Uh-huh.
And it was really cool. We were really excited about it. We had prime spots, so everybody had to come in and they saw all the artwork
Yeah.
of all the artists.
I got to sit there on the porch and paint a little bit of watercolor, because I had these little watercolor cards, and Myra had some cards.
Yeah.
And did we have the bears then? Or we had a couple, because I got one right here.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
we
most of it was some of our graphic art.
Oh yeah, and we had we made our own potpourri and herbal
Yes.
scents and things
right.
of that
We were
sort.
doing
So
apothecary at
yes,
that time.
yes, yeah,
Designer apothecary.
yes.
And so we were doing that in a lot of our note cards. So
And we had, Myra had contacted her family to let them know, hey, we're gonna be down camping at Pocahontas State Park for a festival. So, like Myra said,
the camping family.
and what
my
happened?
older brother was coming home from school and found out that I was camping at
Pocahontas State Park.
And were they married at the time?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
Because they were together. They were definitely together. at the time.
My brother and now sister-in-law
Uh-huh.
came to camp to the. It was like camping. Oh, it was a state park. I'm on. That's how
I'm
that
there.
was going.
Uh-huh.
I understand that. So.
I was sitting on the porch with the artwork and everything, and I
See our sister-in-law.
see our sister-in-law. We see her, and she's laughing as she's coming down
Towards
the
us.
hill. And we go, hey, how you doing? What's up? They won't let your brother in.
He's still stuck at the gate.
He's still stuck at the gate.
And we went,
Oh, no men allowed.
So he had planned
So
to camp that night.
night.
So I went up there and talked to him and, apologized.
And
he was-
my sister-in-law goes,
she goes,
I'm going to shop, and tipped on
she
down.
left him at the gate. She came to shop, and then they went about their way. It was,
Yeah, but you went up there and talked to him.
talked to him for a while just to.
And I said, I'm sorry, they just don't let the Y chromosomes in. I'm sorry.
That was.
That was funny.
That was one of those things of you never connect.
That's how, see, we've never been in a situation where it was that restrictive. Usually women's festivals like the ones we had at ODU, and later on we went to Sister Fire, it was kind of inclusive as long as you behave yourself and act right.
Right.
But this one
most
was
of the
a
men were
women.
tech or around. It
Yeah.
wasn't. They weren't really apart. But they
yeah.
were not a strong
presence. Yes.
He had no idea.
But he was cool with it,
was very cool
yeah,
with it.
he got in his car and, she
and
did her little shopping and everything.
They had a road trip.
Right.
Let me just say that. For that
So
day.
we did pretty good. We sold, cards and stained glass and
Yeah, and then we had after the festival there
festival's
was a
over, dinner,
and we did not stay in the cabin or tent.
We slept in the car,
and we slept in the front seats of the car.
Yeah,
that we could barely lean back a little bit.
Yeah, we could barely recline. Then there was a couple in the car. I totally missed all this, but Myra was still up and awoke and stressed, and heard the couple in the next car humping.
Banging on the
evidently
like I was moving.
She said, "You slept through that whole thing." I went, "Yeah."
Yeah, it was
but that was fun.
But that was our first experience with women's festivals that are women only festival, which was kind of fun and interesting. Learning about our own culture was that was what women wanted to do, who were and we never considered ourselves as purists about it. We both have brothers. We both have fathers.
But we understood.
We understood that, And there's moments where I go like, yeah, not so much. But we understood that. But it was great for the experience to have that festival and for us to be able to go there.
Right.
To do that. We've had other festivals just as different. And one of them we did this more than twice.
Yeah.
But at one point it was outside of Washington in Maryland, at the Equestrian Center. It's called Sister Fire.
Sister Fire is a very famous festival from the East Coast for women. We're talking Sweet Honey in the Rock, Kate Clinton, Alice Walker, all of these people.
Frank was there. Franco and
all of these people that were famous in the women's and lesbian community played this circuit. It was put out by a company called Roadwork, and they was a nonprofit group, and they got all of this stuff together. We had such a tremendous. It was a ball.
So after coming from the Potomac, was it this park? Pocahontas State Park. We were in, like I said, it was an equestrian center, and so it was a lot of field, no trees, and so it was hundreds of people there, and
hundreds and hundreds of people
there.
Yeah.
And it was a huge festival. Bigger names became more popular. And the first day, and we had more. We had bigger stained glass pieces. So if you ever bought stained glass from Sister Fire, you probably got it from us. And we also, our cards were big. And Yvonne developed a bear called Barina. And she made this bear from scratch. It was an Amazon bear.
She had hair underneath her arms, and
she had hair. So she was like a real woman.
Yeah.
Bear. And so that was one of her things that she was doing. And so these are the wares that we were selling at our booth. And so the second day was another day that we got there very early to set up, and along with other people. And then we
looked out on the field.
On the field, there was
a ring of women.
There was a ring of women dancing in a ring, and again, nude from the waist up,
doing their summer sun salutation that morning in their prayers.
To bring the sun in.
There were drums and everything. So that was kind of warming, though. It was. It was kind of a nice.
It gave you kind of a little bit more freedom of being there. During that time, you only felt safe in those environments a lot of times.
Which is why everyone was so adamant about having women-only spaces, because at this time, you've got the AIDS epidemic and people already having issues with gays and lesbians, because they're going to just lump everybody in one particular, whether you're good, bad, or ugly.
Or not even you.
Or not even you.
Yeah.
So these spaces were very, very much in demand for a lot of young women and lesbians coming out. So this was not just a spot for being safe, but it also a spot where you get information. Remember, there's no internet going on right now.
None.
So we're still trying
no
to
internet.
find our way.
No computers.
No
that
computer.
You can,
Right.
They
libraries,
weren't long
yeah.
away, but it was not how people got information.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely.
This was where you got your information.
Yes,
at
and
these
if
spaces.
you did anything, you went there to get a book. You went in to find out what's going on, who you need to contact, who you need to call, what group is in your neighborhood, what's going on. Find a woman, whatever you were looking for.
Right.
Those events were there to do that, to help you with that. And of course, what is the best way to do that amongst a lot of talent and
Like-minded people.
like-minded. Castleberry and Dupree. I just had
that's right. Castleberry.
Odetta.
Yes.
Was also there. I actually have
Tasha Reagan.
Reagan, yes. So it was a lot of folks in their prime doing their work, and we had a lot to say. It was our first taste of a revolution.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
And that was of lesbian women being.
We were developing baby dykes.
Okay.
We had gone from like this stage. We had got a little bit higher up here. You know, when we started going out and seeing other women and learning about their experiences and going to workshops and just getting involved with the scene and the whole experience. So it was good.
Yeah.
You know.
Found out there were other bookstores, book clubs. A lot of that was happening during Sister Fire. One thing that we don't know, it was always somewhere they had the oldest lesbian.
Oh, that's right.
Around.
Right. Yeah.
And there were a couple of those women who were, been lesbian way before we even knew what it was. And living their life. And so all of that was very inspirational for two country girls coming from Hampton, Virginia, and Tidewater area, and really not having a life outside of each other.
Right.
It was great to be able to learn all of this
and be part of a community
and learn it together, and that was really fortunate for us to do that. So but the Sister Fire was the first one we went to was in Tacoma Park, and the other two was
up in Upper Marlboro in the Equestrian
Center. And I'm not sure they had them. Did we hit the last one? I'm not sure we hit the last one.
No.
But they don't do it. We would love to see that happen again. They've done, I think Melissa Etheridge did a women's festival, music festival years after that. That, kind of had that Woodstock vibe.
That flavor.
To it. But that needs to happen again, that we all get together.
Once.
And that is somewhere, people don't go to the club like they used to.
No.
Most people are having a barbecue in the backyard, invite people over, but there's something about being in an open air group with like minds, like people, is really something that we really miss, and that it will be love to hear somebody's going to do it again, even as in a small situation, and also remember, as we ended Gay Pride Month in June, we're not gay just in June.
We're gay 24/7.
364. Right.
12 months out of the year.
Yeah. And so I just want to say, make sure you're celebrating you all that time. It's not just popular that month. If you wear rainbow this past month, pick October. Do it again.
Do it again.
We have to celebrate ourselves, because we still have to remember, outside of LA, New York, Montreal, DC, Miami, these big cities.
There are small
There are
cities.
small towns in between and far in between who are not getting those things or can't really participate in some of those things. And with the internet and with Zoom, you can do some. But as much as we've gotten used to Zoom, it is still something about being within the space physically with other people that you like. So I would just want to say thank you. If you ever hear a festival, please send a comment. We would love to check it out.
Right.
Wherever it is in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because we would like to travel. We could to do just that. So again, leave a comment. Get a notification for our next videos.
Sure.
And share this information. So this again is Myra,
Yvonne.
Luna Works Odds and Ends. Have a great day.